Hey everyone. Is it possible to escape the Matrix? No, it's not, but escaping a maximum security prison? It's easy peasy for these guys. Today, we feature a true prison escape story of two convicts from insanely difficult maximum security prisons. It was June 5, 2015, just 12 hours before what would be known as the most shocking prison escape of all time. Nobody inside the prison administration knows that on June 6, 2015, two prisoners will go missing from their jail cells. And this incident shocked the whole prison system across the United States. But, what does make this escape more shocking, you ask? Well, the prison is Clinton's Correctional Facility in New York. It's called Little Siberia as the place is covered with snow most of the year and is surrounded by miles and miles of forest area where people will get lost if they don't know their way around. The authorities discover a little note left in one of the tunnels. "You left me no choice but to grow old and die in here. I had to do something." With a date June 5, 2015. Wow, sounds reasonable to any person reading it. By this point, the authorities are shocked and panicking because this is supposed to be a fortress that no one could escape. And no one had escaped, until now. What's more embarrassing to the authorities is the fact that these two are uneducated, cold-blooded killers who have outsmarted everyone. Add to that, the millions of taxpayers' money that must be spent on getting these savages back in their cages. But the real question is, will these savages give up their freedom? They will be armed and dangerous, with nothing to lose and a singular focus on their mind. Head to the border. But who are these perps? How did they meet? What did they do to be in prison in the first place? The perps in question? Well, their names are Richard Matt and David Sweat. Let's see how they met. Matt and Sweat met while working together in the prison's tailor section. Yes, you heard right. Prisons do have tailor shops to make prison wear. Matt had quite the reputation in prison. He was known as Hacksaw to other inmates. Can you guess why? Well, Matt earned this nickname because he butchered his boss with a hacksaw, one of the many crimes he was in prison for. For this reason, his fellow inmates respected and feared him. Sweat on the other hand was like a jack of all trades. He had committed so many kinds of crimes ranging from burglary in his teen to murder. Well, as with your regular cold-blooded killers, these guys were lady charming machines, skilled with the art of flirtation. To their luck, they met a lady supervisor by the name of Joyce Mitchell, who loves the attention of men. Well, a little too much because she ain't easy on the eye, and she knows it. This coupled with a crisis in her marriage made her the perfect tool that would enable these killers to be free finally. Sweat catches this early on and starts flirting with Joyce. What encouraged these men was that Joyce was known for improper conduct with inmates and was good at getting away from them. Sweat starts his plan, luring Joyce into their trap. He starts hanging out with Joyce in the break room alone for 5 to 7 minutes. It goes to a point where the warden gets flooded with complaints. He can't take action on Joyce, so he punishes Sweat by sending him to isolation and revoking his job. Parallelly, there is a whole another story going on with Matt. He's become friends with Eugene Palmer, a prison guard who spent 27 years of his career guarding this prison. Palmer is impressed by Matt's painting skills. Matt wins him over when he paints a painting for Eugene's new hot young girlfriend who also happened to work in the prison. The result, both Matt and Sweat are given TV privileges, waived off mandatory checks in their cheeks, and other goods smuggled in. In the absence of Sweat, Matt also becomes close to Joyce. He starts painting her pictures and gives her a painting of her son. Even though their relationship wasn't sexual, the gap left by her former lover Sweat is being shifted to Matt. Matt gets her to do things like smuggling stuff from outside, from cigarettes to groceries, even asking her to make a phone call to his daughter. Both Sweat and Matt know by this point that they are in the perfect situation to try and escape. Initially, they form a plan to escape through the wall by having a rope to the other side of the wall. Sweat doesn't like this plan. He suggests that they go through the sewer system. Matt asks Palmer to reinstate Sweat's job in the tailor shop, and Palmer gets it done. Joyce is now ready for them. So, Matt asks Joyce to buy them 5 hacksaws, and just 5 hours later, Mitchell gets them to Matt. Matt gives 2 hacksaws to Sweat, and it's now time to get to work. The next day they get to work, cutting a 10/10 inch hole through a 3/16 inch thick rear steel wall. They cover their hands with gloves to prevent from injuries brought to them by Joyce. To avoid the noise, they cut them during the free time in prison, or during break when there is a loud noise of inmates talking. They pick up the filings with the magnet they got from work and discard the rest. This continues for 2 weeks every day from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. By week 4, Matt has ended up with a 19 by 14 inch and Sweat with a 17 by 13 inch. At this point, Sweat has gained access to the interior vents and tunnels of the prison and is free to explore the prison. Sweat uses a dummy as a decoy in bed and explore the tunnel while Matt keeps a lookout. He runs into another steel reinforced pipe that he takes another 2 weeks to cut through. After this, Sweat keeps exploring the maze that is the Clinton prison. He's tired because of lack of sleep, as he is working through the night and he cannot work during the day without raising suspicion. His hard work finally pays off. He gets to the exit of the prison, and even though he had a chance to escape then and there, he's loyal to Matt and comes back for him. Little does he know that this will be his downfall. Both of them reveal their plan to Joyce. Even though she's shocked and afraid at first, they convince her that they love her and she should leave her husband. They would run off to Mexico and settle down. Joyce is very happy to hear this, and she also suggests killing off her loyal husband Lyle because he's a thorn in her life. The day of the escape comes. The plan is for Joyce to leave Lyle alone at home and meet them so they can all go together and finish him off before they go to Mexico. Matt and Sweat make their way out of the tunnel and into the open, and they wait for Joyce to join them. On the other end, Joyce has second thoughts about giving pills to Lyle. So, she fakes an emergency and Lyle takes her to the ER. He goes back home where Joyce expects him to be taken care of by her boyfriends. Here, Matt is getting very anxious every time he discovers people. They both have ditched Joyce and are making their way through the forest. It's been 2 days. The authorities start investigating. Joyce is an obvious suspect. She initially acts dumb but later breaks down and admits what happened. She said they tricked her into doing this but said she never wanted to kill her husband. She is arrested and thrown in jail. Meanwhile, Matt and Sweat find themselves in a cabin where Matt finds booze and guns. Matt starts drinking booze like they have already crossed the border and are free for life. Sweat is weary and he wants to keep moving towards the goal. The investigation continues and the authorities find Palmer's involvement in all this and he's taken into custody. Matt and Sweat start on the trail, but Matt is drunk out of his mind, a blood alcohol level of 0.18 later revealed by his autopsy. They come across a ranger where Matt easily panics and engages him with a shotgun. The ranger shoots Matt with his M4, killing him. While this is happening, Sweat manages to escape. He travels through the woods and he's just about to reach the Canadian border where his luck finally runs out. He encounters a border patrol agent who recognizes him from the news. He tries to make a beeline away from the cop, but the cop shoots him on the shoulder and takes him down. Sweat is now arrested and is now at a supermax security prison at 5 Points Correctional. Before I reveal the fates of these people, please comment down below on what you think happened to all these people in 2023. Joyce was sentenced to 3 to 7 years in prison and a fee of $90,000 to repair the physical damage to the prison. Palmer was sentenced to 6 months in prison, $5,000 fine, and was forced into retirement. Sweat is still at 5 Points Correctional, where he will hopefully spend the rest of his life. This whole operation, although sounds something out of a movie, is very real and it cost the state $23 million of taxpayer money.